Brodes Media.
The Kellen Moore hire. I like it. Why not? It's an upgrade. Who cares? We got Brian Johnson's gone. We got John Desai gone. It's a win. I mean, come on. I think the Eagle fans who don't like it are just hating right now. But the guy proved himself he can do something in the league, right? Am I right? Am I right? You didn't win a chip yet, but the guy's 35 years old. Give him a chance here. You know what I'm saying? Just watch what happens. We're going to the bowl. Strong prediction. We're going 20-0. We're going to defeat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl next year, 37-3, and that's it.
All right, I was with you all the way until the 20-0 thing. Yeah, there's real serious things to discuss with Kellen Moore with positive views. I mean, he has had some really good offensive numbers. When he's been great, he's been very, very great. Statistically speaking, some of his numbers with Dak Prescott were outstanding, and nobody was doing much better at that time. They're finishing at the top tier of the league with what they were doing. That's the truth. It really is. And while that's the case, where I come in on the other side is I just feel it's a safe hire because he is on his third team already. And if he was as special and as you can't let this guy out of your building as some claim, not that you're saying that, I think you're just recognizing that there's been some good things that he's done in his career. But if he's that can't miss, then why is everybody getting rid of him? You know, something that also needs to be noted, Mike McCarthy won a Super Bowl. Doug Peterson won a Super Bowl. Doug Peterson's replaceable. Mike McCarthy is very replaceable. The reason why I bring this up is if you are going to put your feet in the mud, start twisting, and claim that you're never going to leave that spot because you're going down swinging with Sirianni since he had a Super Bowl appearance. He did not win it. He did not win. No, not one, but appearing in the Super Bowl. So that's why he deserves more time. Number one, he's not getting the time. He's just a face of it. He's not actually doing anything. He's literally just the spokesperson. He isn't having any sort of say to get it back on track. Everybody else surrounding him has say. He doesn't, so they're not really giving him a chance to fix it. He's just still there being a puppet. And number two, there's been a lot of coaches that have made the Super Bowl that are interchangeable or that are replaceable. Nick Sirianni did some very important things to help out that run. Not last season, 2 years ago. Now we have to start changing our words around. But 2 years ago in that loss. That doesn't mean that he now has free range. Okay? Andy Reid, before he won his Super Bowl, was still one of the most important coaches in NFL history. Just took him a long-ass time to finally hoist a Lombardi. I would have taken Andy Reid without any Super Bowls over some of the coaches that have won a Super Bowl. My point is, we can't get that attached to the appearance with Nick Sirianni. We just can't. We have to look at the reality and say, does this pass the smell test? Does this pass the eye test? And for me, it doesn't. Regardless of Kellen Moore, regardless of Vic Fangio, they're probably going to win some football games next year. But it doesn't mean that I believe in the order of their chains of commands. You know, I think that sounded cooler than it actually came out and sounded like. Whatever. The communication chains are out of whack, and I don't think you can run firmly when that's the case long term. But they have better coordinators, to your point. Yes, Kellen Moore doesn't stink. He doesn't stink. He's going to be a coordinator in this league for a while. But now let's look at our defensive coordinator, Vic Fangio. He's been in the league for a while, and he brings something to the table with that. but he's not unstoppable. You could beat Vic Fangio. His style isn't so elite that every coordinator and every quarterback seem to really struggle when they go up against Vic Fangio. Kellen Moore might last 20 years, 30 years, be in the league forever, be 67 and could be an old veteran coach that's been around for a while, but that doesn't make you an unstoppable force.
Hey, Brodes. Calling you to give my reaction to the Kellen Moore hire. I'm not super thrilled with either the Kellen Moore or the Vic Fangio hires, but I can certainly say the Eagles could have done way worse. I mean, you brought in 2 veteran coordinators, which is no doubt what the team needed to do. They seem like very safe hires, and I'm very kind of interested to see where they move forward with this, because I think both of them have a level of power that Nick Sirianni might not. But the one thing about Kellen Moore that does concern me, and I am acknowledging that this is in no way his fault, but every time we bring in a former Cowboy, it never seems to go well. Flashback to DeMarco Murray.
So that's not the first time I heard that, and it's fair, right? Now, if you think someone's great, if you're Jeffrey Lurie, I don't think the smell of the Cowboys logo should be a factor. If you truly think he has the answers, if you truly think that he could scheme something up outstanding, where I thought you were going to go before you said that it's out of his control was potentially the run game. And we'll see what the run game is like. Remember, Jeff Stoutland is the run game coordinator. Jeff Stoutland's the man. All right, you talk about power with this organization. Jeff Stoutland has a ton. Dude is unbelievable. So how much is that going to influence things? And where Jalen Hurts is just from a physical standpoint, is he ready to take that step again with the 3 dimensions to the offense? Is this strictly going to be, let's have him under center a little more? We know things were leaning towards the direction of not enough. Let's get that more active. Let's see if we can adapt. And that's all great. But is he going to be throwing bombs nonstop and that be more of the focus? Or can we get heavy with forcing defenses to be aware that he could take off at any time? And part of me wonders if it's more just that's where Jalen Hurts is at in his career at 25. His body is banged up, and he's having a difficult time trying to sustain that. And if that's the case, that literally docks him down a bunch of points because that's what made him scary. Now, I'm not hitting the full panic button yet. I wonder if some things happened to his knee and some things was happening to his leg in the season that we weren't really aware about, and then that limited what he was capable of doing, and that's why maybe the offense didn't have that element. I don't know. I just hope that it's incorporated more because that's what suits this offense best with Jalen Hurts at the helm.
Hey, Brodes. I know you've been lukewarm, so to say, about this Kellen Moore hiring. Honestly, I think you should be a lot more excited about it. I mean, his 2022 offense when he was with the Cowboys, they were first encountering the blitz, which was obviously a huge issue we had this year.
Yeah.
He also successfully schemed open Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, and Dalton Schultz when they were all on the same team at the same time. He also had the 6th most rushing attempts and the 7th most rushing yards in the NFL during his years with the Cowboys. So I think the rushing concerns that have surrounded him are a little overblown.
I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. I don't agree with that. You know what his bread and butter is. You know what he wants to do. He wants to air that baby out. I'm not buying that he's someone who's willing to run. We are going to complain next year. We will absolutely 1,000% get into his face and start screaming. You have to run the ball. That will happen 1,000%. And also remember, though, I bet you he was influenced by Jerry Jones. We have Zeke. We have this big name. We paid him a lot of money. That's our guy. He's one of the faces of this franchise. Him, Dak Prescott, that was the era he lived in. Jerry Jones has a massive, massive amount of voice, okay? And I wouldn't be shocked if there were times where Kellen Moore had to incorporate Zeke more than he maybe wanted to do. I'm not buying that he's going to be a run guy. I'm just not buying it. He probably isn't going to be a run guy. He isn't. And right now, we have no idea what these backs are like. Does anybody have a thought on what the back situation is? I bet you we see a lot of Gainwell